Hello guys, sorry, I'll try again. I'm so sorry about the structures of my live, my Facebook and everything. It is 100% down to technology, equipment, things like that. Also, if my internet goes down, I'm still on my city Wi-Fi, and obviously the council has no structure or purpose for it while this shutdown's on, so my internet might disappear. So my phone is still, let's see what it does. Let's see if it still does it. I've not touched it since last time, so it has actually come back since. So basically what I can't do is press my buttons to unlock, and I think I need to reset it. So had this problem before, and I went into the shop, asked him how much it was costing. He said it was fine, I just reset it and that's it. So I don't know how to reset it. So if anyone has any really good videos on resetting an iPhone, that'd be great. And of course, then it just keeps obviously blocking out and things. So I need to get that sorted. But anyway, for those who are on lockdown, who have never ever come across me ever before, and I'm going to speak from that point of view. So to those that are still with me from 2010, thank you so much for your strength and courage. Thank you so much for your belief in me. Thank you so much for still being here. And thank you so much for the calls recently from a few of you who I spoke to in 2010 when I'm in the middle of obviously the story I'm about to tell you. I'm going to take this off for a minute. In 2010, I was just a mum who wanted to take her kids to Disneyland. And I had 4 children. As a single mum, when I went to find out about booking this, I found out that I had to pay as a single occupant traveller with children, and I had to pay for my 4 children slightly separately. And then I had some challenges with the fact that all of my children have, well, apart from my 2 older ones, had different surnames to me, because obviously fathers didn't put name on birth certificate, didn't turn up, nothing I could do about it, or have their father's name. And obviously I still have my children's father's name, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, because I had 4 children, I started to price up to find out like how much was it going to cost me when Aaron and Faith were a little bit older. Because what I do is I have like a bucket list, and I work with like 6 buckets for the things that maybe I want to be able to do that I can't necessarily do now, but maybe in 5 years I can. So this was one of them, and it was to take my kids to Disneyland, to take my kids to the Northern Lights, and there was a couple of other things that I had sort of, in 2010, I even took a photograph of myself in New Year's with my vision board behind me with the places that I wanted to take my kids, and how I wanted to travel, what our home was like, and how we wanted to live. And we can even put that picture up if she wants to. It's just to prove, that point, that behind me you will see Disneyland. Now, my sisters have been on Disney cruises, been to Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, things like that. It's something that I've never done. I've never really been like a princess syndrome Disney girl. Oh, this is going to have a few variables, isn't it? Oh shit, Lord, bring it on. Oh dear. Oh, I know where he's going with this. I've got a nice fireplace going on my PC over there. Oh shit. So yeah, it's on my laptop though, so unfortunately it's not a real fireplace. There was a fireplace in the back there as well. My mum always taught me about needs versus wants, not necessarily in the nicest way, but this was an opportunity for me to sit down and look at me, one, as being a per se larger family. So I had a look at the hotels and thought, okay, how much will it cost me with a mother of 4 children on my own to travel to Disneyland, real Disneyland. I've got friends over that way, so I was looking at the possibility of an outside villa, or could I stay on Complex? And I thought, okay, grin and bear it, how much is this going to cost me? Like, seriously, like staying on the Complex. I then found out I couldn't, and there was only one place that would actually take a mother on her own, and also having so many children with her. They didn't actually cater for more than 2 children traveling. And I thought, well, this is a bit weird because it's Disneyland. They must cater for sort of large families. This is a bit stupid. But anyway, nevertheless, I wanted to just price it up. So anyway, mother going on Google. And at this particular point in my life as well, I had already sort of got the fishing rod and gone with my per se business model. I had already sort of gone with the fact that I'd sat down with, I've actually got the folder here, I think. Oh, I think I actually have. No. I thought I actually had it down here. No. But I was basically sat with my folder where I had gone on a self-employment 26-week program with government benefit system. So basically over 26 weeks. So prior to those 26 weeks, I had to go on this course, and it was, hey, hello, my name's Kelly Cottam, and this is my business model, and this is what I'm going to do. So obviously, my business model was within the structures of the benefit system, hence why I was Benefit Britain in media. So that's what I was doing. It wasn't about getting a job, because people know as a coach, I don't like the word job, just over broke. Welcome to all the self-employed people whose businesses have just crashed. And if your self-employed was offline, then welcome to joining online, which isn't going to be here for, well, the older technology. Even my technology will probably go completely elite, bust after the 31st, I think it is. I think it's the 31st. Go down to the bottom of YouTube. In fact, let me just double check. I can go down to the bottom of YouTube and I'll have a look myself. So basically, go down to the bottom of YouTube and you will see an announcement somewhere. Where are you, YouTube? I'm scrolling down YouTube. Don't you dare black screen me again. Oh, I can't find it. I'm not fucking about right now. So basically, go to the bottom of YouTube and it will show you that I think it's the 31st of March. So for the new system will be on the 1st of April Fools. But basically it is, we will cross over with the new system. Google's completely changing over its structures. Everything will pretty much change over those systems and those structures. Whatever we think about what is going on right now, prior to the panic and fear that set in to this, Corey Feldman had released his documentary. Prior to putting together my ideal life and how much I needed to make from my per se business, which is something that you do while you're going through a business structure, prior to going, hey, I want to take the kids to Disneyland, I actually sat down with the kids and said, like, over the next 5 years, if mummy does this and mummy makes this money, what do you want to do for giving me the space and time for doing this, and what things do you want to come with me on, and blah 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 blah. I designed it around being a mum. So I was basically sitting like I am now. I didn't really know about living didn't exist. YouTube, no, I wasn't really watching it. I was just literally going onto YouTube to go, what is a web domain? What is a hosting? How do you build a website? And it was at the time where we didn't have things like Wix. We didn't have all these infrastructures. It was just literally, it was going to cost me so much for a web portal. And it was like, hundreds of thousands of pounds, and I'm sitting there as like a mum with this idea in my home, crying my fucking eyes out on how I was going to keep nappies and shit going, with the fact that I had, funny enough, 2 young children that were a lot younger than these before I came up with this business concept. My friends used to laugh at me because I used to work in the clubs at night, right? And I used to sit in the VIP lounge with my napkins, writing all my little ideas and things like that. And they used to say, come on, come and dance. And I used to say, no, come on a minute, I just had a bit of an idea, I need to go and do something. They said, come on, you're getting really boring, like, will you come and dance? I said, well, you're out fucking dancing right now, mate. I'm the one that's going to be across the river when you're all sitting there panicking. And they were going, oh, no. I go, you don't know what I'm starting to see coming up on the internet. And they were going, don't listen to it. It's like the millennium bug. It's all fear mongering, blah, 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 blah. But then I saw the love of my life, and I was like, oh my word. Oh, Corey, my love. Like, seriously, like, what? And my world just went. And I remember just sitting at the computer, just going, I don't want to take my kids to Disney. Now, why would a mother who's just had an opportunity to sell what actually existed as unity in the community, and then part of that structure was to challenge Britain, and then obviously was Step Up Britain, Start Up Britain, and lots of other structures within it, within the community structures of communities. So the model that they're trying to roll out to you now is per se the model from that, but it won't work anyway because the BLT structures obviously were implemented. And one of the reasons that I made the decision to make my own personal changes from being very fat, single, mother of 4 children on benefits, disability. So basically it was single mother trapped in per se benefit system with disability. I have all of my notes, all of my things, all in this cupboard, which I have now moved. Look at my structure of my bunny rabbit. So basically my drawers there, and sitting out in the hallway at the moment is all of the suitcases of paperwork I have in that hallway at this moment. One massive big suitcase, one trundle little suitcase, 4 laptop bags, not with laptops in, but paperwork. One like hostess sized suitcase, a big holdall, like proper sports bag, but not small bag, small bags, like the proper big sports bag, and a bit more paperwork that's just been added to me with obviously being CP'd again just before this all kicked off. But yeah, for a country that cares, by the way, just to go on to another point very quickly, on what I was saying on my live about being in a cat building, nobody's been around to find out if anyone's okay. Some of these people in these buildings right now haven't left for milk. They haven't even come out for a fag. I don't know. I haven't even seen people opening their windows. Some people didn't get to the shops in the time of the panic, are still in, because obviously, per se, take my gagging order. So for those that have never met me before, my name is Kelly Cottam, and my name is completely irrelevant in all of this. What is important in all this to be remembered is that prior to the Great Britain exiting the EU, the EU had come over on the 5th of November 2015, I think, to issue an investigation into the UK for child trafficking and child exploitation and sexual something. There's very political names that they use. All of a sudden, we then move everybody out to talk about Brexit. And then all of a sudden, we're now exited Brexit, and that is gone. Sabine has been, as you know, was the person who took the petition to the EU. For those that don't know, in July 2014, I think it was July, it might have even been a bit earlier, March, July 2000 and March 2014, I think it was, Sabine McNeill, who is a German strategist. I've got to sit on my legs a minute. I can't sit on my legs for long, but for those that don't remember, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. But I can't sit on my bum for too long either. So for those that don't know, Sabine is a German strategist, computer analyst, and she was basically looking at the pattern of the amount of children that were removed from from families. I am one of them said families that have had 2 children taken from me by the state. Why? Fuck knows. Like, really, fuck knows. They have so many different things to go. But then I look around at other people and I go, they do that and they've got their kids. I don't do that and they've got their kids. Fuck me, I don't do that. And then I read these sentences like, per se 1, they said I was homeless at one point in my life with Aaron and Faith and Liam and Daniel. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, homeless on the streets, homeless. And I'm going, bang on a minute, here's the receipts for me being at the Ramada Hotel in a penthouse suite, paid for in fucking cash. Well, actually on my card, because I have all the card receipts as well as all my cards, all my cashes. So basically, during the time where I ended up having to free fall because of a system error, not mine, system error with the changeover from income support to universal, not universal credits, but to tax credits as being self-employed, which changed the way that I ticked the boxes, which was their error. In fact, they were even given all of their housing benefit literally 5 seconds prior to the eviction note. It wasn't even 5 seconds. It was like, they were given it prior to even going into court. Do you know what I mean? They had it in their hands in court that they'd actually been paid all of that, because my advocate, Monique Blakemore, worked her fucking ass off because I was in an interim property and I wasn't protected, and they still went through with the eviction, but there was no grounds to do so. There was no reason to do so. They knew it wasn't me. They knew it was their error, and they should have just froze the matter until it was dealt with. They knew it was just the fact that I was considered self-employed, but I was in this 26-week changeover. So I was basically a mum rushing my ass off, trying to work online, building websites, building brands, learning how to put in structures, learning about tax, learning honestly. I didn't know I was a self-employed person, going to all of the correct business things that I was told to go to through the benefit system. And I'm going, but you're talking to somebody who isn't just looking at one thing. So I'm not just setting up a hairdresser's, or I'm not just being a bookkeeper. I'm looking at the whole dynamics of Great Britain. And it was like, right, to find you a mentor is going to be like massive. So anyway, I went off to what's called, I had literally £1.50 in my petrol tank at this particular point, and I already knew that I could fill my tank because I'd already have to do this in emergency a few times. So I already knew I could fill my tank, and I literally drove to London to the National Achievers Congress, and I just sort of went bang, and that's it. And I went with my kids, and next thing I know, I have got my 2-year-old, who was Aaron, up on stage with Richard Branson I freaking rock, with people sort of looking at me to sort of say, can you control your kids, with Aaron so fucking happy on stage, just jumping up and down with Richard Branson to the opening, and someone quickly grabbed him before he sat down to talk about the launch of the rocket and everything like that, and his business model and things. So, and then we stood at the back and things like that, and we just listened to obviously what was going on. Obviously, I was already a crew member for the National Achievers Congress. No, not the National Achievers. Yeah, well, for the National Achievers Congress event itself. No, not the National. I went in on 2011. So Richard Branson was there in 2000. Wants to put that down there, that'd be great. Just a copy of the proof of that event. So that was when I gate crashed. But I was already in, which is the Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. So I already knew a lot of people. I was already in that network. I already knew all the crew people. I already knew a lot of people because speak on Success Resources. So he always used to basically bounce it and open it and then introduce the speakers or close it or whatever. So 2012, I crewed. So basically, I was like the person who used to look after the Diamond members and all of the people, and if there was any crisis management. So I would be there literally at the main booth when Tony on the cue cards, and then in fact actually on some occasions, so when he used to come up, I'd be on the, in fact it was 2012 May, and I know it was because it was my birthday. So actually I travelled down on Virgin first class birthday and crewed that weekend. So those sort of 5 days crewed. So literally we go all the way through right until sort of the end of it. So we go all the way through. So that was the day that I kicked my pedometer off my feet, which was then what connected me to obviously Jesse Bentine, who was my coach, who was Paul Walker's best friend. And obviously in 2010, I'd put a photograph up of who would be my ideal husband, and I just put up a picture of Paul Walker. And then next thing I know, his coach and best friend ends up being my coach with the Billion Steps and everything that we were doing and stuff like that. Just the irony, isn't it, of the ways the uniform work. And then I was heading down to London for the filming of Fast and Furious 6 or 7. I was literally in London when it was all going, and Jesse had just literally sort of announced, like, right here in London and stuff like that, when social started ringing, sort of going like, where are you, what's going on and stuff like that. And I was like, look, it's fine, you know, this is a business model, I'm following my business model. But the thing was, I was doing it with 2 young children and 2 older children. Liam at the time was with Vol TV, which was basically a music industry project for children that didn't necessarily gel with school, because he was a graffiti artist and all of that sort of stuff. And Daniel was at school, thriving. He had full attendance. In fact, he ended up leaving with bloody 100% attendance and being like deputy head boy or whatever it was. And he should have graduated university this year. That is all on hold. Our country has come to a complete shutdown. Why has our country come to a complete shutdown, may you ask? I am not the be-all and end-all and oracle for why our country has come to a shutdown. However, I can give you a mind map for why I feel our country has come to a part of the world shutdown. It's not just us in the UK. So get your heads out the noses. It is not just us, the UK, that has been shut down. It is going on worldwide. So to those people who have just realised that there is no more filming of EastEnders and Emmerdale on Coronation Street, and the 10 o'clock news is now being reported from home, and going, well, what the fuck is going on from my front door? And it's just maybe asking their granddaughter or somebody that to just Google and find out what is going on. They are initiating Agenda 21, one world order structure for one world governance of the UK and depopulation of Agenda 21. My mum's going to say she's lost the fucking plot and get me sectioned for all of this. However, there's enough research, there's enough backup, there is enough things to say. But one of the other big distractions is Prince Andrew announced that they are never, ever, ever going to ever talk about Epstein again. I just got your pillow. It's okay. There you go. Here's pillow. Here's pillow. Ow! Ow! To those who are just entering into the world of trying to salvage your business from home with children not at school. So anyway, prior to my live, I was wearing a mini outfit and now it's gone. And the only evidence that I was wearing it is on this live prior to my blackout. Now, it no longer exists. On the 31st of this month, I believe they will clean up per se internet. With that will be all of the evidence and all of the material from people who talk about the per se Disney Club, the place for children that went into acting, modelling, drama, things like that. The other side, not the children in foster care, but the children with parents who knowingly told their kids, don't worry about it, it's normal to get fucked. You're going to get a really good payout for this. It's like £1 million, or whatever it was to the kids back then, and to the kids now. I'm not scared of a virus. I'm not scared of the fear-mongering of the virus. What worries me and actually petrifies me to a point that I would like to show you in my hallway. If my life holds. If it doesn't, I'll come back and explain to you why my hallway is the way that it is. Call me crazy, call me mad. It's just gone dark as I've taken I don't know if my internet will hold, but there is a reason that my hallway is like this. I have one said bag in the middle of my hallway to my living room. I have a radiator currently holding this door back and a suitcase down here. Why would one crazy lady set her house up and living room like this? May you are you ready? This falls and topples and is not secure to my wall. This is all of the paperwork. I found these books away in my little fine thing.